your way all the way to those stupid things, and then, you know, those crates, and then boost. But that's the game, so just FYI. I did not include that here, but yeah.
Hello, Internet. Welcome to. Whoa. Start a bit early.
And
Don't worry though.
I find interesting,
Just
you know, is that the infinite speed glitch, which is, you know, out here. If we do it in the exact way, you have to go into that room and do it exactly like I just did it there. I had like, bleh. I'm trying to figure out how to exactly get it off without the... I don't know if the Wii's any better at doing this at all, but...
Game Theory did it!
What?
Game Theory already did this intro, like, practically last week, dude.
But we
No,
are
no.
the film channel.
Being down
We are
here,
the ones
this
who
is
get
the...
dibs.
Hey man, I don't
A
know
lot of people,
just wanted to say it before the
I don't know,
countdown
they
started.
call this a wall crawl, or
The
a
METROID
out of bounds.
It is all around us. Even now in this, never mind. The mood is all
But-
ruined. It feels like I'm just retreading.
If you've seen, you know, game theory videos, this is the,
1997, a day when a younger, pimplier
what the
Mad
hell?
Cat was attending his first middle school dance and grooving out to Shania Twain's
okay, there it
Manic.
goes. You know, you could just call this the back rooms a Prime 2. I mean, there's a lot of it. Of miss so long, I was looking for like, and then so I ate a verbal going. There's a lot of it. Oh, I'm down so lost out. You know, like right here, this is a little black. It just depends on what the background looks like. Specific room. We can sort of interact with certain aspects of other rooms that we haven't like opened up. But what? Okay, I don't know what the. Come on. And in this game, the back rooms kind of works like this, you know. We can't exactly do very much, and if we turn the morph ball, we'll just fall down endlessly. But I don't know. This kind of area is a good like to really practice all the aspects of these, you know, back room sections in this game. If you want to like if you go for the seeker missiles, you can. They're like nearby if you want, but there's not much of a reason to do it for a run. But it's cool to get it this early. There we go. Good, I'm probably out of practice with a lot of aether jumping here, but and you see the background is what? This is the first room. This is the fucking first room. Well, I'm going the wrong way. I need to go the other way. Yeah, I need to go the other way, idiot. I'm not even sure why I'm on this side to begin with. I'm actually confused. But, no. By that. But I guess you can kind of get up there and then the same method you do for this side, but just kind of weird. Okay, now we just do exactly what he did there with this door, and because I can just jump here, I think. If I'm in the right place. Maybe not, maybe I have to... No, you didn't shoot it. You didn't shoot it, dumbass. Prime's out-of-bounds sections might be slightly different. But, no, I guess I have to... yeah, there we go. Now, sure, I can just go down there. There's something I can scan. You know, there's a cutscene with the elevator section. It'll just load us in here. And yeah, you can obviously use a scan visor. Hell, I could scan that and then but I'm going this way. This is probably like a lot of runners do this. It's probably more difficult to do it this way, but now that we're through the first room, we don't exactly have to shoot the door. A lot of times we have to do that in Prime, but I'm going to be getting back in bounds a different way than that other one that's easier. That's probably the easiest method to get back in bounds, but okay. Now you gotta know how to scan dash. You gotta know how to scan dash. Okay, now, move over. Back over here. This. Scan dashing still works in Prime 2, it's just not like as broken as it is in the original Prime. You don't get like nearly as much distance, but there we go. No. Okay, where are we? There. I need to be in the right spot. Because I'm just... but... Hey, what? Are you serious? God. Okay. Or it's gonna push me off here and I'll be like lower and make things a lot more difficult, but... Okay, now... I mean, I do a scan dash. You just, obviously lock onto it, like something like that. And then you dash. Dashing works the exact same as a combat dash with the scan visor. And then you go over to the R button, let go of the L button, while still moving the direction you want to go. There's a crazy timing with it, but now gotta get back in bounds. To do this, now you gotta be close enough for it to actually, because there's two fucking scan things for this or whatever. If you're too far away, it'll just tell you there's interference with the scan visor. You can't exactly scan it. But if you're close enough to it, you'll be able to get on the damn... I mean, you'll trigger the cutscene. Like I was there, but... Now, doing it that way is, you know, we skip the elevator section, the slow elevator section, and then the load time for the door, and then doing the lock section, but I don't know, there might be a reason to do the lock section later, so that's why you would, you know, do it that method. But, You see, early on, like, I probably did a lot of the scans already. What am I thinking? Whatever, I'm not gonna worry about it here. But a lot of the scans are probably gonna be the same in Prime 2, unlike Prime 1, but there probably aren't gonna be, like, as many differences there. Now, I could just go the normal way to get to the Alpha Splinter, but I'm gonna do this. Because now that we got back inbounds, I don't know, I'm doing it like this because the couple of doors there are just very weird when you're loading those next two doors there, and it is possible to go through that way, but I just, like, loading doors out of bounds is just very weird at times, man. I don't even want to get into it. Now, in order to do that specific jump that I did over here, like, yeah, you had to be very precise to jump on that specific thing that I was, and then jump to that specific position over here, and then, yeah. If you do that completely wrong, you're probably gonna get stuck, and soft walk, and you won't be able to do anything. Now, there's an easier method to get up there to this door, by, like, I don't know, if you go over here, if you notice, the thing will shake, and you can jump on here, and then kind of hug the wall, holding forward on the damn joystick, and then bomb jumping up there, and then slowly making your way over here. But you can also just do this. That's how I first learned this, but, because, you know, it works over here as well, of course. And, you know, Aether jumping, of course. I mean, it's just a couple of jumps, so I mean, it's not like here. Be on the right side, you can get stuck on the left, and don't move until you're like at the peak of the jump. If you're too far back, you'll load the previous room, and if you're too far forward, you'll bump into something apparently. Now this is a power bomb that we're about to get. Like, getting power bombs this early is just, oh my god. But you know, this is like one of the easiest out of bounds sections ever in a Metroid game, to be honest. You know, if you go back in and then do this or whatever, but you can kind of do both if you do the infinite speed glitch to do the item loss skip, which I did here, to keep the starting items. And you can tell I have, if you look in the logbook, of course, it'll display all the items you have. Now, the inventory. And one of the main ones is the, one of the main ones that you need, that I'll note here, is the, spider ball. That spider ball is practically glitched, and it's not going to work with certain spider tracks. It will only work with certain, at times with other, I mean, with certain spider tracks as well, if you beat specific bosses. And like, for instance, the spider tracks in the spider ball guardian room, like, that room is just duh. Those only work if you beat the grapple guardian. And that was, I just fell on that power bomb there just completely perfectly, but you got to be on the exact right position for this to work with the power bomb in order to get it without, you can fall back inbounds in this little area here if you're not careful. Plus you can also, like, fall off also if you're not careful also, and have to so, but as long as you hold forward here, you won't, like, the game will slowly push you off. As long as you hold forward, it won't do that. Now you can, like, go and back into that room, slowly bomb jump as high as possible in order to get back into bounds. But this one is probably much more consistent and much more time saving what I'm about to do here. But, okay, I need to, I mean, it's right here, so why would you do the other method? I don't really know. But, you can get all of this shit, like, right at the beginning of the game. And again, if you want to practice out of bounds, you know, like I said, you go for it, go to the secret missiles, because there's some pretty crazy out of bounds shit there. And a lot of the A-through jumping with a lot of those sections and the way those rooms are similar to how what the easy ice beam before flag or skip is. Sure, I'm just, you know, A-through jumping, making this look a whole lot easier than what it probably is. There's a cutscene for this, so we'll just spawn us back into this with a power bomb. I'm noting that about the spider ball because, you know, because of the way certain things are in this, you know, you could just go into the spider ball room. The spider ball, you know, is tied, you know, I mean, well, okay, the power bomb guardian is somehow tied to one of the sky temple keys. And, you know, it's one Aegon. And for some reason, it doesn't appear unless you go and beat that boss. Really stupid, but not even joking. But so yeah, you can sequence break that power bomb, and it can make things a bit but yeah, the movement and shit is a lot more, you know, you can get so much more distance and height because of the L button, the way everything is here. There's actually a way to jump up here by just normal jumping, but we don't have to do that because we have space jump boots. You have to be really just know how to do that. But if you notice, if we go in here this early without triggering the cutscene, we can go over here, and this is open to us already. Now, since we have the power bomb later, if we come back here, and, you know, after we trigger the cutscene and do this entire section here, we can go back in here, use the power bomb. For some reason, the game will think we'll already have the translator for this, and the gate will be down, and which is stupid. But also, the missile expansion that's up there isn't spawned here yet until later, which is like, what the fuck? But kind of crazy because you would think, you know, hey, let's use this power bomb, but you know, there's probably stuff that's blocked off because of how there's a gate that's blocked off that direction, so there's no point in doing that. If you walk specifically in that direction, it'll trigger the cutscene. Also, there's also an infinite item glitch with the specific missile expansion here. And this is where we're supposed to get the missile launcher first. Just like, what the fuck? But, I don't know. The Matrix has a lot of fucking, you know, I don't know, obviously, the back room is probably related to the Matrix in some way, because, so you never, in a way that, you know, okay, what is, the back room typically associated with? It's associated with simulation elements, and the Matrix covers that, right? but you don't see hardly anything mentioned about backrooms or anything in the Matrix. What's the thing you probably get to that is like, you know, the train conductor or whatever. And I don't know, is the train conductor, you know, good at aether jumping in this case? If this were somehow the Matrix, I don't know. But the fact you can just skip the alpha splinter like that is just but you know. Also, the first Dark Samus fight can be used to use power bombs on him. So he just gets completely one shot if you get this power bomb. But I just like Now, I'm going to talk about this, about the infamous speed glitch. Now, that's not the only time it gets shown. There are places in Prime 1 that it gets shown as well. But this is like the easiest one that's known. Even Neo was in on these elevator sections. He was starting to believe that, you know. But again, these stupid elevator sections, in order to get the ability to skip every single cutscene from the elevator sections, I mean, they have cutscenes to skip if you go up it and down it. So you have to go up and down it twice. Like, I don't know. Plus, in order to skip map stations, you won't be able to skip them until you enter each one of them once already. Like, that's even know why you're able to skip cutscenes. Normal cutscenes, you know, like that one. But, oh look, why is there no fucking beds? Probably because we broke the game, like, completely, like, honestly. And, yes, that shit can hit you through the door. Once again, about this stupid, you know, Matrix bullshit, the fourth and fifth Matrix, yeah.
He's also an actor.
Neo is a game developer, isn't he?
Yes.
It's almost like, you know, they fucking a lot of this fucking crap with the simulation theory is based off of, you know, what people find in video games like this. But a lot of videos that actually cover this shit is just, I don't know about those things being green wire. Just weird to think about. Obviously, you see, probably draw a lot of, you know, like certain things glowing in orange. Like, for instance, if I go to Interstellar, once again, the orange could represent something divine or religious. I'm sure everybody remembers. I've seen people mention what happens there after, I don't know, the dude gets into the black hole and he's in some weird dimension or whatever the fuck it is. Right? They almost call that a backrooms in another way. But he's able to access certain fucking things with time and shit, which is crazy. Right, go at certain points in time, which I don't know. Can backrooms do that? I don't know. But of course, when we're talking about the backrooms, that fucking thing, of course, typically, you know, it's a creepypasta or something like, what if, you know, we were in a simulation and the backrooms, our backrooms, is somehow, you know, what now? Our backrooms. We've seen how the backrooms look in that. So it's like, why is there a random timing office? I don't know. It's kind of ridiculous, but I'm sure. If anybody, you know, understands what it takes to be here or village story, since I'm bringing up one of those things is admitting that you're right to the village. I see a lot of videos going on about how he's like a villain, like just don't even know. Like, somehow Neo is a machine, but not, you know. He's human and everything. It's just kind of weird. How is he able to have an appearance of it? I mean, the way certain people talk about him, it's just like he's a robot, but with some weird mind powers that he can use in real life. Yeah, you see, he gets that ability later on. Even to the point where he brought Trinity back to life. Right? You know, but somehow stuck his hand in his heart and in her heart and just, which is like, what the? So it's like, you know. He's able to destroy a damn sentry drone, a sentinel, with like, bro, that's why you don't want to do that. Just brain farting the damn drones, and that's why you don't want to do that. I don't know what it was off on it. The camera was just, that's what happens if you unmorph after that. Now you can do some other games and cause the game to freeze even if you do it right also, depending on what you're doing. But whenever that happens, the game is still working, it's just you're blind. It's obvious that the Oracle is, you know, how should I say this? She was apparently up to something. She wanted certain things to go a certain way, and they did. Neo's over here constantly going, I'm not the one after a certain point, and even got Morpheus to start to believe that it was all hard. But you know, you brought everything to a fucking buh. Just like how the Oracle just did. I see some, like, in the, you know, the third or fourth movie? No, in the fourth or fifth movie, right? Afterwards, you know, what happens to Morpheus? For some reason, and I kind of nobody really knows. And then, Niobe goes to the conclusion that they go to. In my opinion, you know, Niobe takes the role as a protagonist in some way. But Neo is probably the hero in some way. And I don't know. For all we know, the real Trinity dies, but once again, there's a lot of people that go around saying, you know, things about the brain, the DNA in our cells or whatever, you know. It's all like, once again, the human, a lot of people will go, it's like one giant computer. What am I going on about here? I don't know. People say also that glitches in a way can be like, you know, specific viruses that are in, you know, DNA-based viruses. And you notice some weird thing they're doing with the Greek names, like autism and shit. And I don't need to get into that, but like, for instance, the very name Morpheus. Morpheus was the god of sleep. Bro, I'm falling asleep to this. That's what he was based off of. That's what the name was. Yeah. They even gave names to weird names to the ships, even like the Nebuchadnezzar and shit or whatever, right? But yeah. Even Niobe was based off of a Greek entity. Well, not an entity, but they were more precisely based off of a queen.
The main thing I want to point out here about that is that Zeus turned her into a statue.
I find it weird because the statue is stone.
what the fuck? The king somehow committed suicide. You see what I'm getting at here?
Is the thing that
Weird how there's some weird.
has control of Zion in the fourth movie, The Machine. That's just
Move into the room where these, like holy shit, the worker splinters are.
I think I'm on
Go all the way to where the web is, probably like on the right side.
Supposedly, it
left
was a
side of
story
it,
about
and
how Niobe, with their king, went up against the gods of Olympus.
wait for the room to load, go all the way back to the door, open up.
She had like a bunch of kids and shit or whatever, and they all died.
You have to do that on GameCube or Wii, unless you're using an emulator.
But just find that weird.
Like, I see a similar thing with Age of Ultron, what's going on in those movies. I see the same thing in fucking, the Terminator, even. Like, it's just very weird, just similar. Even Harry Potter. What the fuck, And some of these videos I see, he retreads over the same thing, and then he's like, oh yes, what if he was a villain? But in this other thing, it's like,
something to do with
Neville Longbottom is actually the chosen one. Yeah, there are two,
and trying to do anything to the gods.
You can draw parallels with those videos, and it's kind of weird. Right? I don't know. But again, that's not the main point of what I'm talking about here.
What the? Also, I want to add
Why
that
the
for
hell
some reason,
I'm sure a lot of people know this, but
bro,
will you
they bring this up in the books as well. His
different game, bro.
Voldemort's Horcruxes are, whenever he splits his soul, and puts it into a Horcrux. What happens there? He doesn't just lose part of his soul. It's only whenever the Horcrux is destroyed. He still has a connection to it. So Harry is sharing that power as well. Whenever that happens in the second or third movie, oh man, he feels it. Harry feels it. He gets affected by it. That was like,
You can also do a
if you really look at that and see the kind of
your height.
their sheer power,
It's the exact same thing to
concept to what is called an SSJ. I'm going to be showing that here.
You cannot do this in the trilogy version of Prime 3 or Prime 2 for some reason. I do show it off at times in trilogy version of Prime 1 because for some reason there are still cases you can still do that.
You look at the story differently if you follow along here. If you go with that theory, with how
I find to be weird.
Adam buys it or whatever, like he's only working with like 1% of his power, 1.5% in a certain, which again, I don't know.
There's
Why
some
the fuck do they
also
make it like
some
that? That's weird.
gods that were
I don't know, but whatever.
related to
Over my foot. Well,
who?
they're related to okay, there is Hera, right? The mother of the damn, right? There's another god that was based off of Morpheus is related to waking up in some way.
Okay.
At the moment,
There's a
I
god
completely forgot which one
that
was.
was
'Cause there's like several
able
different,
to
gods in the Greek hierarchy, of course.
I don't know how to say it. They were able to do things without sleeping.
But obviously the one that
Morpheus
is
is
highly related was supposedly the god of sleep. The stuff with Niobe. It's Leto, what governs him. But that other god somehow, but I believe that's what for some reason based off of. Leto supposedly had a sister.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's.
I find it to be weird.
What I'm thinking of,
find
that
that to be
probably even was Hysteria.
Very
I don't remember.
But there were quite a few, like Morpheus, who are related to dreams and stuff, of course. We all know that. In fact, he's even and I'm starting to wonder about it because, and all that other shit, it makes sense, right? Makes sense if you draw that kind of connection to that. I swear they're trying to do something with that. And even the, what was it? The machine that was said to, you can also, they put a lot of politics in movies nowadays, don't they? The instructor, don't they? That's what the machine was called that ran the Zion archives, which is a term that keeps getting brought up a lot of times in a lot of media. Maybe it's, for all we know, go woke or go broke. The instructor could also be based or obsessed with being a Greek god. So I don't know. But again, with what I'm saying about politics and stuff, if there's society, I don't know. Like I said, but for some reason, this machine is somehow, or God is somehow able to, why is it like there's some weird tie to this? I know there is. Able to do all this without waking up, without becoming politically aware. Maybe I was looking to a little the fuck into it here, but yeah. Obviously, you can tell there's a lot of crap in this. I think I'm onto something there. And this goes for you as well, or anybody else. You don't even have to have the same name as some other person. The fuck? The fuck is in the air? Yeah. Admiral Dane is waiting for you in the briefing room. I will upload the... Yeah. It's obvious. That's obvious. This is more than just a Matrix video. So that's where we have to go. We'll probably be seeing a little more of the plot here of this game later. Everything I'm mentioning to you, and once again, because a lot of what I'm showing here, this is some good shit to practice on to know, for these games. Especially, if they are going to like, have, a trilogy version that is going to be out soon, one that's on the Switch. If they decide to do, right? Plus, there's also different versions of the games you might have, which they might take certain things away. Like this version of the game on the trilogy version, you could not do this. That's an SSJ. That's short for Spring Ball Space Jump. Hi, bro. How you doing? Now, I can also do it, which is bombs. You can combine it with double bomb jumps and do a double SSJ. Now, since everything is actually working on this Wiimote nunchuck, right? Everything I've done, it matters for this, definitely. Yeah. So the normal way to do this, of course, is to do what now? Then we have this. If you ever need to practice with the trilogy controls, even something to, it helps. Certainly, you get an achievement for it if you do enough of them. I don't know, for some reason in Prime 3, this is something to note. Being a good shot in this, it's probably harder also to, you know, lock on to shit. And no, it's probably harder to way you lock on this, you know. You can use free aim or there's a specific type of lock on is with it too, of course. Free aim is a different lock on system from the normal game, and that might you definitely have to be more accurate in this than the original Prime 1 and 2. And how small these things are, depending on what your screen are. It's a good way to practice with this. A lot of the fights in this, for some reason, I don't know why, but a lot of them are much easier. You know, just rapid firing and shit. There's a lot of crap in Prime 1 and 2 that's better if you're using charged aim, which I find kind of weird. A lot of fights in it, I don't know. But, this is, I guess I'll switch it over to the trolley version really quick. But, yeah. Don't expect to be able to do the BSJ or the SSJ in the trilogy version because it's weird because of the remastered version of Prime. There's a lot of things you can do on that that's like so much I don't know, because of certain things they added into that, you can still do SSJs, and it's actually better to run than the Prime and the trilogy version of that game is. Now, what am I doing here? Well, the GameCube version has a multiplayer mode for Prime 2. Prime 1 and 3 don't. Now, there is actually a multiplayer mode here on this. On the Wii version, on the trilogy version. It's just tied to Prime 2, though. Kinda crazy, huh? But, yeah. I still have the other Wiimote. I'd rather not, but give me a minute. Where the fuck did I, here we go. I don't even have like a nunchuck hooked up to this thing. It's letting me detect it for some reason. Oh no. But yeah, we Prime 3 and the trilogy, all trilogy versions of the games. You know, you need Wiimote and nunchuck. So, how do you think this is gonna play? Playing multiplayer on the Wii with this small ass sensor bar versus playing on a GameCube. Yeah, I'm sure it's probably gonna be more fun to do this on a GameCube. Okay, I found one. But, I don't know if I have any more lying around, but, wasn't even in my room when you sang. So I think I noticed something about this. Is there a weird issue with this, or is it just the... I know there's an issue with the Wiimote itself, but there might also be an issue with this nunchuck. You know, this is something I will mention. This has happened to me in the past with, like, I don't know. Even game controllers. There are certain ones that I buy that there's issues with wiring, and you get shit like this. It's just constantly moving for some reason. I have to hold an opposite direction just for it to, just to, not do it. So in other words, the other Wiimote, the bad one, is moving on its own. Why? I don't know. But anyways, there's two modes here. Bounty mode and deathmatch. Bro, like seriously, man. Yeah, for all we know, there's a really shitty AI or whatever, just randomly trying and then it's bugging out or whatever on the bottom the bottom character. Obviously not. Okay. Yeah, for some reason, now that I'm only able to do anything with the player 2 controller. Dude, I don't know why. Since I mentioned it, like, what the It's kind of weird. So this is like, I don't know. I didn't know coins were a thing here. What the fuck are coins in the Prime universe or the Metroid universe? Who fucking knows? What's the currency? I don't know. but deathmatch, I mean, that's obvious. We killed the character. Again, we could have up to 4 people. For some reason, we can have up to 4 people. I don't think it was doing it anymore. Unless it just, switches to the other character whenever you, depending on who wins or loses. If I can, get this damn thing, let me, okay. I don't know why it was doing it. And there's 6 different areas. 2 of them you don't unlock until you complete, I swear. I do not understand of the Prime 2 section. Yeah, the Prime 2 section of the story mode. The things that I use to control shit, man. No, if you notice. Fucking like, honestly. This other Wiimote is just gonna be moving on its own. So, yeah, just what the fuck, no idea why that's the case. But, this is a good Wiimote on, the top one. But, yeah. You get little pickups like this, like missiles here you can pick up and use against them. Super missiles are lying around in specific areas, but that's all, you only have them for a certain amount of time. You get these little question things, which give you specific upgrades, like you can become invulnerable. Hacker mode, you don't really even have scan visor unless programming issue with a controller could cause hacker mode within the game. I can't even enter morph ball when I'm in this, but you can scan the other character, and for some reason, for a limited amount of time, it will slowly do damage to them. And if I'm talking about AI, you also have an infinite ammo thing you get from that, and some others. Or even, like, for instance, Death Ball, which is a one-shot if you run into him. But it instantly turns into a Morph Ball and you can't get out of it. And you can get the Dark and Light Beam from this. I mean, this is... There's not very many differences on this one. On the Prime 2 multiplayer mode compared to the original one. It's just like, obviously the multiplayer is open right from the get-go if you just get the game. And unless you don't beat the game completely, the story mode, you'll never see Pipeline or that other one. Until you beat it. This is obviously something to do with Torvis. Right? And this is the only level that makes use of the gravity boost. For some reason, in multiplayer mode, Samus has, specific items. Starts out with the base mostly, but for some reason they also have, they had the boost ball. Samus has the spider ball. That's the base pretty much. I think they have the grapple beam, I don't remember. In this, but that's about it. No other suit upgrades. And it's kind of interesting because this, I mentioned that about, you know, the BSJ once again.